What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Every Week We Follow. This is a preview for possibly the biggest game in Aston Villa's recent history since 1983. PSG at home, 3-1 down. Who fucking knows what's going to happen? Gary, what you thinking?
Every week we follow
Yeah.
the boys in claret and blue.
Wherever it is, whenever it is, we are following.
As the words of a great goalkeeper once said, mate, I'm a believer. I have to be this, we've just got to go for it, haven't we? This is the make or break kind of part to our season. And you know what? Whatever happens, right? It's been an absolute journey in the Champions League. I didn't expect to get to the quarterfinals.
I want it next season.
But that's the key.
Season.
Mate, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Again. It's not going to be the same when we're sitting there
playing in Europa League. Once you get the taste, you don't want to let it go. It's a bit like other things in life that you get a taste of that you've never experienced before, like the love of a good woman, a McDonald's cheeseburger. Once you've had one, it's there's just no going back. Or man, or non-binary person, whatever floats your boat, boys and girls, just kind of and non-binary people, whatever you get that taste of, it's just digging the hole. I'm going to retract, but what you get my point, right?
I do.
But once you've tried it, you don't want to give it up. You just don't.
No.
You know,
we're hopeful that we can do this. It is doable. We've said it's doable. Get an early goal, and you absolutely never know. We had some people in the comments of the previous of our post match for the first leg being like, "You guys are absolutely deluded. Like you've got no chance." And mainly, I think this was mainly these were people who weren't Villa fans or PSG fans. I think some of the Villa fans were like, "You never know," and you do never know. You got to have the hope. The atmosphere is going to be insane. The atmosphere is going to be electric. I think it has to be. I think that's the thing. If it was 2-1, man, that atmosphere would be fuck me. But I think even with 3-1, it's going to be good. But it's just if we can't get early, and they're just getting dominated. I do know
it's time to be putting fireworks on people's seats now. Like I'm expecting when we get there, we'll have a flag, just firing flares into the PSG fans.
Yeah. Firing rockets from everyone's ass. Just shoot it out.
James has been to Thailand.
From Villa Park.
Is that claret and blue? Just
yeah. Anyway, we have a little bit of a intro ramble, I think, from yourself, Gaz.
Yeah. So we'll get to that. Just on the build-up and the atmosphere. Obviously, we're going the game. We're going to be live from the outside, probably the McGregor statue, for half an hour before kickoff. From 7 till 7:30 to give us half an hour to get into the ground. So if you want to come and say hi live on TikTok, just come and say hello.
Just to clarify, not live on YouTube, live on TikTok.
Live on TikTok, yeah. And we're just it's nothing like major interviews and stuff. We're just going to be chatting about the game, eating a burger, maybe, just kind of getting into the atmosphere. But if you do want to come and say hello, then come and say hello.
If you want to watch this eat a burger, and demolish it within about 30 seconds.
Mate, who doesn't want to see mayonnaise dripping down your chin? Do you know what I mean? Let's be honest.
Again, very different channel.
God, we're terrible, right? Mate, it's never going to. We're going to have a certain audience, that's for sure. Just on that, so we move on to. You might have noticed where we've got our like and subscribe. It's slightly different today. And there's a little code there with a 20% off thing. So basically, if it's the Easter holidays and we're building up to May Bank Holiday weekend, and we've been chatting to some people that have got connections with the Villa Foundation and Villa Park, and one of those people is Curbside Cubs, and they're working closely with these guys called Bangers and MASHUP, who are trying to help food poverty in Birmingham, and this is an event they're putting on May Bank Holiday on the 5th of May. So if you're looking for something to do with your kids, there's plenty going on. There's, like I say, if you book through that, you get 20% off. I think tickets are £11 for adults, £3.50 for kids, or something like that. I think, if I remember correctly. Crafts going on the day, rave paint. They're going to have school garage DJs. There's inflatables, costumes, balloons, bubbles, foam. Most importantly, there is a free fruit sundae bar for the kids. And while it's not free, there's going to be street food and a licensed bar for the adults. So, hopefully decent weather. It sounds like a fantastic event, and it's all in support of child food poverty in Birmingham and Bangers and Mashup. You can follow them at Bangers and Mashup, CIC for updates if you're interested in that kind of thing.
And if you're, we're not getting paid or anything with this. This is completely.
No, it's not. This is just something that a good friend of mine is trying to help with. And if you're, like I say, if you're at a loose end May bank holiday, please kind of, it sounds like a really fun event. So go and check it out. Like I say, we'll have the link in the description, won't we, James, for after the show. So if you can go directly through it and order your tickets. And then stay tuned for the Newcastle game, because we might have a little bit of news about kind of that advertising space. It's nothing 100% confirmed yet.
Curbside Cubs, isn't it?
Curbside Cubs.
They're based. It's between like Trinity Road entrance and the Villa shop, isn't it? It's like down that way.
Yeah. And they've been working with the Villa Foundation for a few years, since COVID, really, in terms of trying to, again, help with food poverty and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that this could be the start of a beautiful relationship. So watch this space, boys and girls.
Brilliant.
So check that out. Yeah. Anyway, on to PSG.
PSG. PSG. We've said it. We've said it before. We said it on the post match as well. The tie isn't over. An early goal, you never know. I think that we will play a bit more positive. I think we will play with a bit more tempo. I think we will look to try and spring past that press. I mean, it's so suffocating. I mean, it's gonna be do or die, right? Isn't it? It's basically going to be we're either going to be able to get past, and we're going to nick it past, or we're going to lose the ball, and there's going to be gaps. And
I think what has to happen for us to stand any chance, we've got to almost win this game in the first 15-20 minutes.
I thought you were just going to say we got to win. I was going to say no shit, Sherlock. Fucking
we do like an obvious statement here every week we follow, mate. We just have to win. It's quite simple. End of show. See you later, mate. Merry Christmas.
Off we go. A goal. We need to score a goal.
We need to score more than them. We need to compete the aggregate score. Put it in the onion bag more than they do. No, I think my point is that if we whether it's 2-0 or 3-0, these first 15-20 minutes, mate, massive. Because ultimately, if we can peg them back and get, like you say, that early goal, get the second goal, extra time, obviously they're going to be a major threat, mate. They're going to play exactly as I've got nothing but respect for I was watching TNT Sports the other night, and they were talking about their performance against Arsenal in the group stage and how poor they were, and how Arsenal battered them. Their development and the way they've improved over the course of the season to that Liverpool game. I think everybody expected Liverpool to wipe the floor with them after the Arsenal game.
Yeah, I didn't actually see them in the group phases. Obviously, I just saw their results and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, what's going on with PSG?" And then, I saw some of that Liverpool game, and I was literally like, "How the hell did this team even lose a game?" And apparently it's just something that happened. Something happened in their league, and something clicked. And all of a sudden, they're just this incredible.
Mate, they either need drug testing, right? Because I know that's a wild accusation, but let's question it, because you go from mediocre to world beaters in the space of 5 months, right? Is impressive, or it's just incredible coaching from Luis Enrique. And as I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, I'm just going to go with the coaching part that he's just coached the shit out of them, and that. There are levels to this, and this is what I'm looking for, mate. This is what I want to see at the Villa. I want to see this intensity, because I can't, as a football fan, that level of intensity is what you want to see, because you will beat 9 out of 10 teams playing like that.
And at home, it'll get the crowd up as well. We will be like, if we're getting into them and we're running everywhere and we're like just chasing stuff down, the fans will respond. And
do you know what the crazy thing is about that?
I've got goosebumps thinking about that atmosphere.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, this is you can have all the talent in all the world, which is obviously PSG have got some good players, right? But if you look at what they were 5 months ago, it's down to the coaching. It's about the buy-in of them wanting to work at that level, right? And when you're dealing with prima donna millionaires, right, most of them just throw their toys out the pram and don't want to do the dirty work. I'm too good for that. I don't need to do that. Now, if you can get a squad a squad of 25 players playing with that intensity, whoever's playing, right? It doesn't matter about ability. That intensity as athletes can be there, and you just don't see in many teams. Like you just don't. Like and the ones that do will always be the ones that are successful.
Yeah,
That's what
what's
we got to do,
interesting?
mate.
It'll be interesting to see. Like, I mean, obviously, we won't affect us now. But it'll be interesting to see next season, for instance, if they get there, how this goes over the course of the season. Because the most teams that I know that play like this and play this high intensity kind of non-stop football, the biggest problem is keeping your players fit for a long period of time. It tends to be a lot of injuries. Now, their team's very young, so it's potentially a really fit team, and they can really build them up to be these absolute endurance machines. Well, at the same time, though, if they do get an injury or two, if you get an injury or two that early on in career, sometimes it can kind of like really affect you. But obviously that's not gonna matter.
Yeah, but the thing is, they've got youngsters that are coming through that are just brilliant. Because if you look at the changes they made in that first game, you've got, the pace that they have is, but it's the same kind of approach. So they want their wingers, whoever's playing there, to attack the fullbacks one-on-one. That's what they go for. That doesn't happen in the Premier League. We talked about this in the post-match.
This is the key point for this game. Is obviously we'll get onto your lineup in a sec.
Yeah,
I assume it will be Cash at right back.
Yeah,
and I assume it will be Digne at left back.
So on that, because we're so good and haven't done our research again, in the comments, please. Cash got booked last week. How many yellow cards is he had any other yellow cards in the Champions League? I can't remember, and I don't know if he's on the risk of being banned for the semi-final. Were we to get there? But obviously, let us know,
because he was out for a few games, wasn't he? But he was back for Bruges.
Yeah.
I don't know if he got a yellow card against Bruges. Yeah, basically, because it would have been reset.
I don't think he has. I think he's only had one, but I'm happy to be, for the statos out there.
Yeah. I also can't remember if the rules, like, if you get a yellow card in each leg of a single tie, does that mean you miss the next one? I don't know.
No, but I'm pretty sure it's just 3 yellow cards throughout the phases, but they wipe out at some point. I think it might be the semi-final, but
yeah, I think it usually wipes out for the final.
Yeah,
I might be wrong, but the key, he needs to not pick up a booking in that first half. We cannot put Disasi at right back again.
Mate, this depends on the referee, doesn't it? Because I thought he was incredibly harsh to get booked in that first game. It wasn't a yellow card for me. He barely touches him. Like it
was obviously trying to stamp something out early.
Yeah, but so I think will that play into Cash's mentality in terms of being worried about being booked again? I don't know. It could be a problem. So if we can avoid any of that, particularly in the first half, hopefully we give ourselves a fighting chance, mate.
But those first 15, 20 minutes, I think the thing that we need to do is we just need to make PSG a little bit fearful. Yeah. We just need to make them a little, because they are young. They are a young team. They haven't been like in these massively high pressure situations very often. Yeah. They have seen that they are susceptible earlier in the season and in that league phase. And if we can get that early goal and we can just go at them and really put the fear into them, then you never know. Like, they could just not buckle, but they might not be their ever positive PSG, like pushing up the pitch.
Well, look, they are not invincible. Do you know what I mean? They've got kinks in
their league saying they might be.
Mate, that don't count. It's League One. Like, come on.
I know, but still.
Right. But they're not invincible in terms of that. Like, if you can beat that press, it's got to be like Liverpool did it in the first leg. They withheld the storm and then got the breakaway goal and won.
We did it. We scored a goal, and that's the thing that gives me a little bit of hope. Is we've done it. We've done it once.
Yeah.
Just do that 2 more times.
Look, this is a big ask because of how PSG play. We know that press is going to be elite, right? It's an elite press. So one thing I'll say in the first leg, we didn't get up to pace of the game quick enough, and we gave the ball away too cheaply. Now it's a big ask because that press is like something I've never seen before. We've never been pressed like that. You're asking for perfection almost to play through it, right? And that's difficult at that pace. So, but this is the level we've got to hit, mate, if we're going to have any chance of doing it.
I'm telling you, mate, he'll have a plan.
Oh, no.
He will have a plan. Emery has a plan. Emery always has a plan. And Emery has already said, we will win this game.
Yeah.
He said it at the post, which by the way, I've never heard him say. ever about any game. I've never heard him predict a game, and he's gone, "We will win." He said that last week. He said we will win next week, and I'm just like,
it's a very bold statement. Mate, well, it's either genius, right, and we do it, or he ends up like Anne Postecoglou and looks like a complete knob.
Mate, Spurs. That's a whole. That's probably a whole.
Cheers to Spurs being Spursy. I just love it.
Yeah,
it's fucking brilliant.
I hate the fact that Wolves,
mate. Well, both Spurs and Man United. I'm looking forward to the end of the season now. 2 guaranteed wins, mate. We're gonna finish in the top 5, aren't we? Bang on.
But let's get on to your lineup, guys. So we're doing this slightly differently now. We're essentially going to basically have Gary's lineup, and then we will discuss it, because we do sometimes tend to be a bit different. But this is essentially your lineup, guys. Talk me through it.
Yeah. So it's pretty much the same as it was last week, right? Apart from I've swapped out Asensio for McGinn, right? And reason. Just because, we need to beat that press, right? And it's just
so good, though, mate.
The
thing is, McGinn's the one who will put those challenges, get the ball, and get us up the pitch.
No, I agree with that. But if I'm honest, I think he will start with McGinn, right? But I just
instead of Asensio.
Instead of Asensio, yeah. This is my opinion in terms of.
What about instead of Rodgers?
Rodgers, mate, he's never dropping Rodgers in a month of Sunday. Like I
know.
Never happened.
I don't know if I'd rather have the silkiness of Asensio to be able to like get past, like just nick the ball around, compared to Rodgers. I'd rather get McGinn, who's going to pick it up deeper, use his ass because that's our 12th man, and basically just like power up the pitch and get us up. Yeah. That's what we did for that goal.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think because of the outlet that Rodgers provides, I don't think he's going to not play him. And the reason, McGinn, I think McGinn will start because he didn't play on Saturday either, so he's obviously clearly rested. I know he came on at the end and scored, which was great, but I think the back four speaks for itself. I think he goes with Torres again because he's going to want someone who can play it from the back. We've got to try and beat that press, so I think that will happen. Kamara and Tielemans are going to be crucial in this as well. Like they just are in terms of providing, and then and also with Rodgers and Ramsey will both do the running back to provide cover for both Cash and Digne. They will, right? Which is why I haven't gone with Rashford. I almost put Rashford out on the left to kind of say let's go out all out attack. But I think that is risky. But
I thought Ramsey was very, very good in the first leg, and
he was
surprised he came off. So I'd like to see him start because I think he gave us that running and he gave us that bit of physicality, and he was able to keep the ball on the sideline, and he was running up the pitch, or he was getting a foul, or he was getting a throw in, he was getting us out. Whereas Rashford was just walking around.
So the fan in me, like, and not the necessarily, I was going to say football pundit, but I'm not a football pundit. That's kind of my football pundit brain. But the fan in me wants Asensio to be the catalyst of this victory. Do you know what I mean? That could take us through, because it's like a big fat fuck you to Paris. Do you know what I mean? In terms of,
that's
living the dream.
That's the dreamer in you, like the hope for a story. Like, I mean, it'd be incredible. I think. Do you think Watkins does? Obviously, you had him there on your lineup.
Yeah.
I think Watkins starts. I think the way. I think him.
I'm one of Watkins' biggest critic, but for this game, like, we need the energy. We do. We need to move that back four around. They need to be fearful of balls over the top. But he needs to have the game of his life, mate, because his hold up play and anything he gets that has to be converted. Like if you think back to the last game he played at home against Nottingham Forest, right? He was terrible. He was absolutely terrible, mate. And this is a different level. Like he got bullied off the ball in the second half of that Forest game and didn't touch the ball in the first half at all, apart from 2 very wayward passes. So if I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, because I loved his celebration on Saturday. I thought, it means a lot to him. I love him as a person. I think he's an excellent footballer. I do. My question mark has always been, is he good enough to do it at this level? And this is the big test, mate. So I'd give him the benefit of the doubt. He scored a good goal on Saturday.
I think you have to reword that. It's not. He is good enough. He's just not been consistent enough this season. That's all.
Okay,
Last
that's fair. All right, that's fair.
last season he was good enough and consistent, and we were like coming into this season going one of the best strikers in the entire league. Like, and he started slow because he played like you gotta remember he played the Euros and then he was injured and then he came back injured. Didn't get our preseason, done all that. Then he's had another injury recently. He had all the stuff with John Duran and all that crap going on. Like, you can imagine it affects a player massively mentally and like just his confidence. So I think that goal was huge for him. And I do actually think the way the goal happened was huge for him. It was a lovely goal. It wasn't one of those like one-on-ones and he kind of scuffed it or anything. He meant to do that. It was a brilliant finish.
And actually, that kind of passage of play with the ball over the top from Tielemans
is exactly what we need on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's going to be an outlet, mate. And so he's got to make those runs.
It's just, mate, we don't have Donny Marlon next to him making that space for him. It's really fucking annoying. Like, it's so frustrating. And you just don't get that. You don't get that from JJ or Rodgers. Or you don't get that.
Or the lost soul. What's Leon Bailey? Where's he gone? Is he still injured? Because he's not even been in the squad for 5 games.
I mean, he's gone. That'll be another pod around like who's going, who's staying. Blah, blah, blah. We'll do that towards the end of the season.
Join us in the postseason for that. But if you think if we could have swapped Marlon out for Bailey and he could have been in our Champions League squad, he'd be such an asset. 3 goals in 3 games. He'd be confident as anything, wouldn't he? And
so frustrating.
I hope we can get there next year, mate. Either it be through beating these lot or and going on and winning the thing, which would be amazing. But that league position, the weekend was not the worst result. So I expected Newcastle to beat Man United, but Chelsea drawing that, they've got Chelsea looking at that running, they've got a tough thing. We could do it.
That Newcastle game scares the hell out of me. That Newcastle game, I'm terrified about that. I'm really hoping Palace give them like a I don't want Palace to batter them or anything like that. I feel like they'll be like they'll want vengeance this week on the weekend. Just like an annoying 1-1 or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
or lose 1-0. That would be great if they could lose 1-0.
Something like that. They haven't been back like they just had an off day. Anyway. Yes. So PSG 3-1 down. Gary, give us your final motivating speech.
Okay, right. So this is it, boys. Like this is as big as it gets. This is the biggest game that we've had in that I can honestly remember. Like it's make or break. It could be the catalyst that goes on to the remaining games in the Premier League. It could be the one that takes us to that all-time great season. And whatever happens, right, leave it all out there. Like I say, we talked about it earlier in the show. Just want to see those energy levels. I want to see us match PSG for those energy levels because, yes, they are a better side than we are, right, at the moment. But we can match those energy levels. It's 2 sets of athletes going up against it. How much do we want it now? Like, we've got no right to win this game tomorrow. None at all, right? Which is why, like you said, with Emery having a plan, but we don't know what that is. The lineup's probably going to be completely different to what we put out. Like,
wild. He's going to play Emi Martinez up front.
Yeah, in a French kit.
Maybe that's his plan. He's got like a mole in the PSG squad. Like,
look, we've got to make it look like we were going to thrash you, but actually, you'll win 5-0 at Villa Park. Like he's got. Maybe he's got that little kind of like handover, like, and we'll suddenly be catapulted into that Club World Cup malarkey, and be the big boys. No, so it's one of those. We've got no right to do it, but that doesn't mean we can't. And as I started on this show, mate, just like Emily, I'm a believer, mate. I'm a believer. Let's fucking do this. I can't wait for this game tomorrow. I'm absolutely buzzing for it.
The atmosphere is. I'm just waiting for that atmosphere, mate. And I'm just hoping it just carries on the whole game. Yeah. Even if we're 2-0 down, 3-0, whatever. I just want the atmosphere against Bayern and the atmosphere for I always come back to the game where the first game back in the Premier League. And it was against Everton. And it was, mate, there was I think it was about half an hour of just it was about half an hour. It was so loud. And
mate, I had a ringing in my ears for 2 days after that game. Like I couldn't speak it. That's what we need. It needs to be that away support kind of feel where it's just from minute 1 to minute 90, we're just getting behind them and kind of giving them that boost, regardless of what happens. Do you know what I mean? It's like just make it like
And I like to
intimidating
think,
as we can.
regardless of the fans that are there, because sometimes these games you end up with like, you know, your fans who go for the nice high ticket games and they take a pack lunch or take their little like frankfurters in a flask with a little hot dog bun and they're eating their hot dogs as they're sat there.
Frankfurters in a flask.
Have you not seen that? I've seen it, mate. I saw it at cricket once. It was fantastic. It's one of the greatest ideas you'll ever see. It's brilliant. But yeah, you get people who go for that, and I'm intrigued. One last thing, I don't want to go on for too long because we need to end this now. But like, how many PSG fans do you think will be in the Villa fans? Remember the Celtic game? Because that Celtic game, that was not good, mate. That and these PSG fans are
ultras. They're fucking nightmare at night. But yeah, it's a concern, mate. I hope that it doesn't detract from the game, but it's something they probably would do just to do that. If I'm honest, do you know what I mean? Like, so
there's popping off in the Trinity Road, like and stuff.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a bit.
So just if you go in the game, guys, just be wary, stay safe. Like, come and say hi.
Don't be weary. If you're going around weary, just like like
Mr. Soft.
Get your sleep. Soft. Make sure you have your sleep before, so you're not too weary. But yeah, be wary. Yeah,
mate. There's going to be no sleep tonight. I'm wired already, and it's kind of like Monday 9 o'clock on a Monday morning.
Last night, by the way, you don't watch golf, do you?
No, well, I didn't watch the Masters last night. I was absolutely cream crackered, mate. I just
bloody insane. But just shows if Rory can do it, and if and I tell you what, if Justin Rose can almost do it, we can do this.
We can do it. Yeah,
we can do this. Right. Anyway, so we will be back obviously after the game. Obviously, like Gary said, for the probably half an hour before kickoff, we'll go live. TikTok. You'll see me there, mayonnaise everywhere. And we'll be around the statue. If anyone wants to come say hello, we'll be around there probably at some point. There's the burger van towards it's the closest one to the entrance to the Trinity Road end.
On Trinity Road, opposite the corner shop.
Yeah, exactly. Opposite the corner shop. We'll probably be there. Unless Pete will probably want to go get his chips from the chippy, but I'm going to stick with the burger.
Got to be in the atmosphere for tomorrow night's game, mate. Yeah, and also just going back to, don't forget if you're free on Maybank holiday, look up Bangers and Mashup. 20% off the tickets if you use the code MDAY20. Go and check that out. It sounds like it's going to be a promising event. And all in all, come on, we can fucking.
Did you say where it was going to be, by the way?
Oh yeah, sorry if I didn't. It's at Roe Heath Pavilion in Bourneville. So if you're in the Birmingham area, which most of you are, that'd be useful. But that's all information is on the site that we said at the start. So
you know, because we're professionals here. We give all the main information you need.
All the correct information.
Yeah, all the correct information. You know, for all we know.
We know our followers, mate, are more than
capable. For all we know, it's in Telford. It's the completely opposite.
It's not. So if you live in the South Birmingham area and you want something to do on Maybank holiday, it sounds like a good event for kids and adults. So go and check it out. And obviously, it's for a good cause combating child food poverty. So
brilliant. And like I said, we will be back a bit about Wednesday for the match review, and then Thursday morning, maybe Friday morning for the Newcastle preview. Massive game. Big game. Right,
it's great.
Gary.
Every game feels like a cup final.
Oh, mate, it's ridiculous. I feel like all we're just saying is I can't keep putting every title as biggest game of the season. Massive game. That's what I'm putting, so I'm having to do something different with this one. But anyway.
But if we keep winning, mate, they just become bigger, don't they?
So exactly. Go for it, Gaz.
Every week we follow the boys in claret and blue. Peace and love, people.